Hello everyone, and welcome back to Golf with Your Friends Level Editor with me, Bear. Thank you so much for joining me today again. Today we're going back to Bear's Cove. We're going to work on what we just left off the last episode. If you recall last episode, we were working on hole 11, the pinball hole, and today I want to move right along to hole 12. We're going to move pretty quick today. I'm going to be cutting ahead quite a bit during this video. You'll notice I'm still figuring out my editing style. Let me know if you like how fast-paced this one is, or if you'd prefer I slow it down a little bit and show you a little bit more of details. In any case though, this is what we end up with, and I want to add a hole running along one of these buildings to start. I want to make it kind of feel like you're entering the building from the outside, sneaking in and catching the residents off guard. In this case, I have a really fun idea for what the resident of this building will be, or who the resident of this building will be. We're gonna finish laying out the basic foundation for the hole, find a spot for the flag where the ball generally lines up with the shot. This part of the process is really fun for me. I had a lot of fun on this level. I kind of just went through all of the tools I had at my disposal, all of the scenery, all the things I've used in the past, anything that came to mind, I tried to utilize it. You'll see we got our keyboard, our PC, our gamer setup, right next to the gamer setup, of course, so we don't have to stray far from our video games. We've got our food, we've got everything we need in this spot. Utensils, of course, and everything you'll see has that little orange hitbox around it. So anything that has that will typically affect the ball. So everything we lay down here, we have to be careful. We don't want to block too much, but we do want to add enough to where, depending on where your shot goes, you might still have to fight a little bit to get to the hole. Of course, putting down our most important utensil, a spoon. Checking once in a while to see what everything is doing. There's a really cool bounce shot right here. You can go off of the donuts behind the toilet, find your way into the hole. Here we're going to make a little makeshift mattress couch. Something that every college student I'm sure has had at one point or another. Some little cheap mattress thing that you call a couch. Of course, we forgot our mouse, the most important utensil for our PC. Accessory, rather. The utensils are on the floor, and that utensil just helped bump us in for a double bogey. So we'll change that. I think a part 2 is fair for now. And on to the next hole. Again, I said earlier, we're going to be moving kind of quick. This is probably going to end up being a shorter episode because of it, but that's okay. So moving on to hole 13, we're sticking with our residential neighborhood here. We're going to try something out. I have an idea. You can see me kind of mapping out in my head what I think the ball's going to do. Good luck, future me. Godspeed. Of course, changing that out to a flat piece for the hole, and we'll fill that in with a flag as well. And then we're going to go through and really quickly just put up some walls so we can finally test this beast. You've seen this dozens of times. You see me do this, so I kind of sped it up here, but essentially Control-C, Control-V, and then using the transform tool to save item space. You'll notice each time I place an item up there on the top right, there's a number out of 5,000. That is our cap limit for items. So you always want to keep that in mind when you're building. You don't want to get too many items and you're on hole, 8 out of 19 or whatever, and you're already out of space on your server, whatever you want to call this, your map. Placing the spawn in so we can finally test this level. I'm trying to just get an idea of, what the ball's going to do, how close can we get it for a hole-in-one, what we need to add. In this case, I go for these 90-degree triangles. And that helps get the ball there much easier. I don't know if the hole-in-one is possible on this hole. Let me know if you ever play it and you get one. I'd love to know. We're filling in with our walls. Again, we're just doing the brick. I like the look of these, and they're going to really work out well, I think, for what I have in store for this. See if you can guess what I'm going to turn this backyard into. It already kind of has a basic shape. I guess it's not that obvious, but leave a comment if you can take a guess of what this is about to be. Here's a hint. We're going to put some water down. Filling in as I go along, just kind of creating what I would imagine someone would be able to live in. Going back to our trusty bucket of flowers, our vines, our bushes. Adding a floor. If you haven't guessed yet, I'll give you another hint. Here's a diving board for it. That's right, we're building a swimming pool. I kind of saw the shape of this and I thought, you know, the backyard looks like they could use a swimming pool, even though they are surrounded by water. Why not? Here you see me struggling, trying to get everything just right, deleting a ton of stuff because the pool couldn't get deep enough because the rocks were in the way. And you can just see it really does get away from you when you play this game in Level Editor. You can just add so much. I started to kind of change ideas quickly, throwing in things, creating a little table from scratch here. Delicious cupcakes. The cupcake gave me an idea. I thought, well, it'd be kind of fun if someone was having a backyard party. And there we go. There's our backyard party, ready for some kind of birthday or something if you want to have it there. You're welcome to have a putt-putt birthday in my backyard. Come on over. Moving right along, down the road from the putt-putt birthday party, where we are building our own giant mansion. Building a hole and testing it, you can see here, my idea is this. You go in the middle, that's ideal. If you miss, you're going to have some fighting to go through. And on that note, we'll speed through really quickly, and I know you guys want to watch me build this, I'm sure, but you don't want to sit here for an hour, so... And here we are. Over to the new mansion we built. We put some beautiful roofs up. We got the brick up. We got the trim. We built a window, a door. I went ahead and added a little bit of difficulty here because I like, you know, if you go for something, I want there to be, you're almost like gambling. You're taking a risk. You know, if you go for that middle one there's a risk involved. And in this case, it's a big old pit of lava. If you go for the sides, you get a nice little downstairs view. And speaking of downstairs, I'm going to show you what's inside this building next episode. Ah, how'd you like that? That's right, we're going to call it right here for now. We've got 3 new holes to add to our course. I'm really proud of how these turned out. I love how busy and kind of convoluted everything looks. It starts to look like a little town or a city almost. But y'all, thank you so much for joining me. I'm having a lot of fun building this map for you all. I hope you've enjoyed the journey. We're almost done. I believe that last hole we just built was 14 out of the 18 holes we have to build, so we're almost there. We have 4 more left. But until then, y'all, thank you so much again for watching. My name is Bear. I really, really hope that you are enjoying yourselves. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.